Hi, this review is on the movie Last Night in Soho. So the plot of this movie is this girl named Eloise Turner, played by Thomasin McKenzie, is an aspiring fashion designer who has a really particular interest for the 60s, and she, kind of has like a weird little quirk with it, and sometimes she's made fun of it, sometimes she's not. Some people think it's interesting. It's kind of her thing. And and she has kind of some weird problem that she admits that she sees her mom's ghost because her mom died from suicide. And so she goes and tries out fashion design, and later that night she has a really weird dream where she's back in the 60s and encounters this aspiring singer named Sandy Collins, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. And after that, she wakes up the next morning and gets like a really good inspiration for 60 style fashion design when she's doing her new um, design wear. And then later she goes to sleep again. She has more dreams in the 60s, and it kind of becomes a recurring thing. And she finds maybe there's really more to it than it seems. This was a really good movie. I thought it was very unique. This is a horror movie technically. I know the funny thing about this movie is that it doesn't really start as a horror film. It's kind of more of like a weird psychological film, but it doesn't really become scary until the third act, which, not to say anything. So, if you're looking for a full-on horror movie like beginning to end, I don't know if this is really the thing for you, but to be honest, I didn't view it as a bad thing because this movie is really unique. And I mean that in the best way possible. It's unbelievably unique. It has like a really interesting plot, and I do always like psychological thriller movies about going into the psyche of certain characters, and it kind of makes you really think about how weird some people are. And these dreams that Eloise has, they start off kind of unique. It's very artsy, kind of a 60s kind of artistic approach. Like the production design in the dream sequences particularly is great. Like everything looks great. It looks kind of, the streets all look kind of run down and a little dirty. It looks very old timey, and even like lots of the bars and such. Like it looks amazing. The production values in this were amazing. And it really does capture that feel that you're in the 60s. And even when it cuts, not to say that the other stuff is good too, when it cuts to the present day in the real world, it still looks good. I mean, it looks like how like a horror movie should look. It's pretty dreary, the skies are gray. It's production wise, it's very good. And the performances are really good too. Thomasin McKenzie, she's a really good lead actually for a horror film. I haven't seen her in really anything else. The only thing I think I've seen her in is Jojo Rabbit, and she was good in that. I don't know really anything else she's done, but I think she should do more horror films because she was actually really good in this. Because sometimes I actually even felt scared for her. I didn't find this movie super scary or anything, but like you can feel the fear in her that she wants these nightmares to end, and she really hates all these secrets and dirty mysteries that she's uncovering. So you do really kind of feel a little terrified for her. Anya Taylor-Joy also, she's not just there as being like, oh, it's a 60s singer and that's it. No, her character has a personality too. She even has a side to her, even in this own weird dream nightmarish world. Like even she has her own arc, and she does interact with a lot of characters. Like the world building in the dreams is weirdly good. Like they're not like these dream and nightmare sequences. They're not just 5 to 10 minutes. They're for like half the movie. Like half the screen time is actually these dreams and nightmares, and it's really unique. Like it's not boring. It never takes you out of like, hey, the movie started off in a certain way. Why can't it go back? No, even when it cuts out of the dreams and into them, like it's weirdly interesting. Like you want to see how it affects Eloise's life. You want to see all the stuff she's uncovering. Like it's a mystery movie, and the third act is pretty shocking. Without saying a thing, like how I said the first, it doesn't start off as a horror film, but when it gets to the third act, yeah, you could definitely pick up the horror elements to it. It's really cool, and that's really, I think, when the movie steps up, which is fine because usually a lot of people would argue that the third act is when movies fall apart. This, I think, really elevated it. It started off with some really good world building and really unique dreams, and that cuts to like a really good plot and climax. So it really does make the film better, and it's not just there to look good. It actually has a really unique story, and I really enjoyed this one. I think, despite being a semi horror film, I think this was a good one to watch this month before Halloween. So, yeah, Last Night in Soho. If you haven't seen it, I'd definitely say give it a watch. It's actually really good. I probably, if I saw this back when it came out, I probably would have put this in my top 10. But hey, as it is, I do think it's a really good movie, and I think even if you're not really a horror fan, I think you could still like it because most of it isn't really scary. So I think you could handle it even if you're not a fan of the genre. I think it's a unique artsy film in its own way, and I do really like it for that. So take care, everybody. I'll see you with whatever guy. I'm playing this maybe see Five Nights at Freddy's this weekend, so hopefully I'll review that pretty soon. So take care.